All right, guys, it's time to talk about the Vancouver Canucks after a disappointing season last season where they missed the playoffs by 6 points after making the second round the season before and putting up an absolute unreal performance on the year that no one expected. Well, no one expected what they did last season and absolutely shitting the bed and not making the playoffs. So the question is, Jaden, can they flip it again and this time
Mhm.
make the playoffs? Um, let's take a look at that lineup and see if we reckon it's a lineup that has that potential in them.
Yeah. So we got DeBrusque, Pedersen, Besser, great first line. Baines, Heedle, Garland. Heedle really the only good one there. Kane, Coots, Lekarimaki, O'Connor, Ruddy, and then Sherwood. Decor. We got Hughes, obviously, Hronik, Pedersen, Myers, Forbort, and Niels Pedersen. Goaltending, we have Demko and Lankinen. Ultimately, pretty much nothing done in this off season. Just
Mm,
giving extensions to a lot of their players for more money. Demko, Besser, and Garland. And
yep.
in regards to trades, really the only notable trade, Evander Kane in for a fourth round pick. Ultimately, with the Quinn Hughes situation, how this team looks, how this team's performing, I was expecting a really bigger off season,
Hmm.
change things up, make some big moves, ins and outs. Didn't happen. They never do. Didn't go rebuild years ago. They're not even going for cup now. I don't know what this team's doing.
Yeah.
I really don't. I feel like that we're driving with a blindfold on and nobody's got their
Hmm.
hands on the steering wheel. So ultimately, I don't think good things are going to happen for Vancouver this season. They will be competitive.
Mm,
They've got that in it, and obviously with Hughes on the lineup and Demko, a healthy Demko, you're going to be all right. A player I didn't notify is Hoglander, who is on the IR as well.
hmm.
In regards to forwards, but ultimately, yeah, I am very pessimistic on this team.
Yeah.
They don't have cap space, and after just going through Carolina Hurricanes, I don't understand. They should be roles reversed, but they're not. So, what do you think of this
Mm.
team? Are you pro? You down? You're in the middle?
No, I think what happened 2 seasons ago, obviously they had JT Miller as well in that lineup. But I think what happened 2 years ago when they made the playoffs, they went on that run. I think that was the anomaly. I don't think that what
Yeah.
happened last season was the oh wow, what this is unexpected. I think that is where this team is. And I know Demko being out is a massive loss, and obviously a healthy Demko makes this team much better. But when I look at this lineup, I'm looking at it going, yeah, that first line's all right. Jake DeBrusque, I'd probably prefer on a second line if I'm being perfectly honest. Second line is missing. Um, Kane in can be a good player, but with a locker room that had a lot of tension in it last season with the likes of Miller and Pedersen and all of that sort of stuff going on, Kane in that locker room, I don't know. Um, yeah, and I just look at that bottom six and it's not really doing it for me. And then you go to that decor and it's like, yeah, Demko and Lankinen are really good goaltenders and make a really good tandem. But outside of Hughes, Pedersen's not bad. Hronik's okay. Myers is not is not
Mm.
fantastic. And that
They got
bottom,
this is the problem
like,
with this team. They got four forwards, what I would say, and they got maybe three defenders.
yeah,
Um, but
it's
they got
lacking.
two goaltenders.
Hmm,
You can't put them both on the ice at the same time, though, unfortunately. Um,
no.
and yeah, that is just the big core problem with this team. And
Mhm.
even if you say they're core four and they're core four forwards, I'm talking about DeBrusque, Pedersen, Besser, Heedle. Even if that's your core four, like Heedle's would be best on a third line. That's how you know
Mhm.
you'd have a strong team. And DeBrusque, as
Yeah.
you said, would be best on a second line. Um,
Yeah.
and that's just the problem with this team. And I just don't get the direction. I'm
No.
paid off for Vancouver fans because I called for rebuild feels like decade. When did was it Sandine brothers go? Um,
Yeah, a decade.
like a decade ago.
Almost,
Like basically then.
almost. Yeah,
They
yeah.
should have been rebuilding around then, and they haven't. And I feel like they're gonna waste a Hughes era.
Hmm.
I can't see him staying because I don't see good things happening this season. And then you want to
Yeah,
play with your brothers. So um, and even if they get the bag for Quinn Hughes, I don't think it's gonna change it fast enough for him.
yeah. Well, this is the thing for me surrounding Quinn is I've had a lot of conversations with people around it, and they said, well, you're going to get a bag for Quinn no matter when you trade him. Like if he's not going to sign, you trade him next year. You do everything to sign him. I agree with that in a sense, but right now, every single team would want Quinn. Every single contending team would be wanting to trade for Quinn Hughes. He's got 2 seasons left on his contract at a $7.75 million contract, which is unreal value for who he is. You could get a bag from it. You could literally go, who want highest bidder, highest bidder. I've got 3 first round picks and there's 2 pros, a player here, player here. You could have an absolute auction for him right now. You wait until deadline. You're still probably going to get a lot if they trade him at this deadline. But you wait past that and you go into next season and he doesn't sign and you start talking trades at that point, teams start to drop off of that list. And also, you're not going to get as much because knowing the history, knowing the fact that he's most likely going to go, especially if he goes to free agency, he's most likely going to want to go to New Jersey, play with his brothers. Teams aren't going to be willing to give up as much knowing that he's a rental
Mm.
unless you're going to do a trade and sign.
But
But again,
if you're losing Hughes, like I know there was outs on Pedersen, but now you're keeping Pedersen, and he's going to be the future of
mm,
this rebuild or this retool because that's all Vancouver do is a retool. Um,
mm,
yeah, ultimately, I was just thinking because it's just fresh in my mind with 11 million in cap space, Carolina Hurricanes, this trade deadline, just going and just blowing it all for Quinn Hughes, and you got Quinn on the left, not Makar, Thingo on the right, like, whew,
give him give him
like,
the absolute packet. Oh my god! Like,
like,
could you imagine?
like, you probably almost nail him in the coffin for Stanley Cup. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's just interesting because they got 10 mil, and they could do that and then trade him out,
Mm,
to New Jersey for that 1 year. Um,
yeah.
ultimately, yeah, I'm down in the dumps for this team. I don't like the Evander Kane edition. I don't like the bottom six. I don't like the bottom three for the D, and I just don't think it's going to get it done. I think the other teams are just too competitive and too better, well built,
Hmm.
from top to bottom. And I don't know the future of this team. I really don't. Like they've got some picks still. They've got all their first, but I just don't understand the direction.
Mm,
And I really want to see in the comments what your thoughts are, Vancouver fans, because I don't know what you're going through and how
mm,
optimistic or pessimistic you are. um,
yeah.
but I really want to see your insights on this team because if I was a Vancouver through and through fan, I would probably be really depressed, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're not. We try and be as across the team as we can be, but we're not fully across the prospects that are coming through and all the rest of it. But from what we know and what we're hearing, it doesn't look fantastic for the Canucks. And looking at it on paper, I'm just not seeing where this
I
miraculous
just don't see the
turnaround comes from.
vision. I don't see the vision.
Yeah, I don't know. I know they're a young team, average age of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
26.2, but we're not talking about a team that's got a bunch of 20, 21, 22-year-old prospects that are that are showing some stupidly good potential because they've got the prospects like a Mackie and Brady, but I don't know how good they're going to turn out to be. But they don't have 20, 21, 22-year-olds that are putting up 40, 50-point seasons and gearing to take that next step and take over and be those first, second liners. They've they're players that are of age that they are their first and second liners. They're not changing, and I just don't see those players outside of like your Pedersens and your Besser. Like I don't see DeBrusque being your first line winger. I don't think you're winning a cup with Jake DeBrusque as your first line winger. I don't think you're winning a cup with Heedle as your second line center. Like it's just they're missing probably a good three top six forwards at this point.
They're
And
missing like three key players, like two key forwards and a key defender. Like they're
yeah,
missing three key players, and you have to spend to get that. You have to
yeah,
trade assets. You're not trading assets in regards to players because you can't,
yep.
because you're pretty much lackluster. So you need to trade picks, and when you're trading picks, then you're just no rebuild, no retool. We're going for it. Which would have been alright if you did that a few years ago and like just went all in, but they
Hmm.
they refuse to go all in. They've played this half, dipping my toes in the water and oh, it's a little bit cold. And it's like no,
Yeah.
just jump in. And yeah, at
And
this
as of
point, I
next
don't know.
season,
Yeah,
$13 million on goaltending. Like it's
and I don't feel like even 26 million in goaltending would keep the puck out of the net.
yeah.
I don't mean to be mean or anything, but I just like sometimes this team lacks, and Quinn Hughes can only do so much.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm very pessimistic. I'm really sad that they didn't do a rebuild 10 years ago or 5 years ago. I'm just
Hmm.
annoyed that the retool is all they do is add Evander Kane,
Hmm.
and then just pay everyone extra money. That that
Yeah.
was the plan for this season, and
Yeah, and they've spent next year's cap increase already as well. Demko and Garland, and that's pretty much the cap increase gone already. So, like, you look at this team now, and what you see here is pretty much what you've got this year and what you've got next year. Outside of like obviously Evander Kane's money comes off, but you've then got to replace Kane,
yeah,
and you only got $5 million to do that. So, yeah, I don't see how the next 2 years of Quinn's contract, this team does enough to convince him to stay. Like, unless of course he just really wants to win in Vancouver and he just makes a decision like, nah, I'm gonna stick in Vancouver, I'm gonna sign, I'm gonna go through the heartache. That's the only way I see it. But I don't see this team making the playoffs this season. And honestly, with what I'm seeing at the moment, unless they make massive wholesale changes and do something drastic, I don't see them making it next year either.
yeah. I don't see it unless they're trading first round picks. Um, and as a Vancouver fan, you probably don't want to be seeing that. So ultimately, you're in a weird situation. Hopefully, they can prove. I don't even know if you want them to prove everyone wrong and get in the playoffs, because I don't think they have a chance of winning the cup. So
Well, you get knocked out in the first round and you get the pick 20 with your
mm,
first round pick, and it's like that's the forever cycle. You
yeah,
finish anywhere from 11th to bottom to 20th to bottom, and you end up with pick 11 to pick 20, and it doesn't generate into a player that you need. It's like, yeah, this has been their issue. They haven't spent enough time down the bottom to generate prospects, generate picks to help them build and go again. They get
mm,
Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson and think everything else is fine. It just doesn't work that way. They need to, yeah, the management needs to improve.
yeah. I guess we'll leave it there. Sorry for the downer, Vancouver fans, but please let us know in the comments on what you think of this team for the current season and future seasons, and the Quinn Hughes situation, and what you would like to see happen or think will happen. But yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. But until next time, catch you guys.
I guess.